Complete news coverage for Greater Louisville starts right now.
A community gathers together to rebuild and heal, and a family pleads for justice 1 year after their son's brutal death. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Ann Bowden in for Steve Bergen. A mixture of ice and snow is headed our way. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist John Belski to see what we can expect tonight and what's coming. John, I'm not liking it.
I don't think any of us are, Ann. And tell you what, we're okay for tonight, but this gets going tomorrow. And hard to believe we're going to have an ice storm and a snowstorm all in the same storm system. And also, usually with an ice storm, you have temperatures slowly going up. This time, temperatures will be going down. Everything's going to freeze solid. This could be the worst ice storm of the winter because we had one a few weeks back. Remember that? And that was fairly bad. And the biggest snowstorm of the winter also is possible. Freezing rain begins by late morning in Louisville. I think the roads will start to get icy during the early afternoon. And then by late afternoon, this all changes over to sleet. So the freezing rain, that's the ice that accumulates on all the exposed objects, the trees and the power lines. Sleet, not as dangerous. No power outages from sleet. But again, it makes the driving hazardous. And the sleet will change over to snow then tomorrow night and then end late tomorrow night or early in the day on Monday. Here in Louisville, a quarter to a half inch of ice. This is probably a little more than we had earlier in the winter, and then that will be followed by 4 to 7 inches of snow, possibly more in some spots. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. That's for tomorrow night. A couple of quick things to mention here. Be prepared for power outages here in the metro area tomorrow afternoon and evening, and more widespread once you get south of Elizabethtown. Rural areas, you live out in the countryside, you may be snowed in for a couple of days between this ice and this snow. Be prepared for that. Also, with the sleet falling under the snow, it's going to make it a lot harder to clear these roads out. And then once the storm is over, bitter cold weather comes in, not far above zero by Monday night. A lot more to talk about, Ann, and we'll do that coming up a little bit later on.
All right, John. Thank you so much. Well, tomorrow marks the anniversary of a day this area won't soon forget, when EF4 tornadoes carved a path of destruction.
Now, your WLKY weather with John Belski.
And that's that California storm that's moving our way for tomorrow. And, you know, when the news is not on, you can still catch up on the latest on this storm. Go to WLKY.com. I'm updating my blog. On the homepage here, just click on the link and we'll take you right to that. Also on the social media, we are online. We are on mobile. WLKY Weather on Facebook. Be sure and like that. Also, I'm on Twitter and Facebook. And there's Facebook John Belski and at John Belski WLKY on Twitter. So check that out for all your latest weather information. Widespread winter storm warnings across our part of the country here for the ice and the snow and the sleet, the whole mess there. This is an ice storm warning, by the way, in the darker purple down here in southwest Kentucky. And even though we're going to have ice storm conditions here, the fact that it's ice and snow is just lumped together into one big winter storm warning. 8 o'clock in the morning, there is the dividing line between light rain and light freezing rain, just kind of north of Louisville, with freezing across southern Indiana. Now, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the rain freezing line is way south of Lexington. We're getting freezing rain in Louisville with sleet across southern Indiana and snow across central Indiana. And then this all continues to transition toward the south by 8 o'clock in the evening, where it's sleet, probably heavy sleet in Louisville, with the ice storm conditions continuing downstate and heavy snow across portions of southern Indiana, which will move in here overnight. Now, as far as the ice total, still looking at a quarter inch to as much as a half inch. That's anything above a quarter inch is considered ice storm conditions, and this is capable of producing some power outages. We had earlier this winter, we had about a half inch. I'm not sorry, we had a quarter inch to about a third inch with that ice storm. That caused about 30,000 power outages locally. So I think that could top that tomorrow with this. Even worse downstate, 3/4 of an inch. A couple of spots may even go close to an inch. This is a major ice storm, southern Kentucky, for tomorrow. The Weather Prediction Center, that's part of the National Weather Service, they issue risk areas for snow. Louisville is in a moderate to high risk for 4 inches of snow with this system, goes through Lexington. I mean, look at this for the 8-inch snow risk, a slight risk for Louisville, a moderate risk for Lexington, and for 12 inches, this is crazy, Lexington in a slight risk. Doesn't mean it's going to snow 12 inches, it means there's potential there. We are calling for a widespread 4 to 7 inches across our area, and we're going to watch this band of snow late tomorrow evening and just after midnight. that shows signs that it may set up right along the I-64 corridor. It may go down a little further south, it may be up in our area, but where this sets up, 8 inches or more is possible. So we'll watch that during the storm tomorrow. In the meantime, no problems tonight. Freezing rain north of us by morning, low 35. We'll fall into the 20s tomorrow. Rain to ice to sleet and eventually to snow tomorrow night with 4 to 7 inches here in Louisville. Low of 18 tomorrow night. Any snow in the area, if it doesn't end late tomorrow night, it will end early on Monday and then dry after that. Just plain cold Monday and Tuesday and then gradually warmer after that. But again, keep up with the latest on this storm throughout the day tomorrow here on WLKY because it's a big one, maybe the biggest of the winter. Hard to believe in March, isn't it?
I like what you said before the break. Hopefully, maybe this will be the last one.
We said that last time, though, didn't we? Maybe this is the time.
This is the one. All right, thanks, John.
Okay.
Well, coming up in sports, we'll take a look at the boys' district basketball